Hey everybody, it's a glassesless Kellen Nitro coming at you from Nitro Maniac TV HQ, and it's the summer series of events. It's hot, it's humid, man, it's that summertime here at Nitro Maniac HQ, bringing the heat in, and WWE NXT brought the heat last night on June 13th, 2021. It was NXT TakeOver in your house, yes. Bringing back the In Your House name. This was the first pay-per-view to carry an In Your House title in its name since the St. Valentine's Day Massacre back in 1999, February 99, of course, the big cage match between Big Show and Steve Austin. Available via Peacock, and of course, up here in Canada, we watched it on the WWE Network. Here are my thoughts on this quick 5-match card. What were yours? Post them below. The tagline for the pre-show was more fans in the stands at the Capitol Wrestling Center than ever before. And yes, it does look like they have a bit of a crowd there. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people in there. It's the most that I've seen in that building since they started taping shows there. So, and I guess NXT has a TikTok account. Go team. The opening video is awesome with all of the 90s New Generation references. Yes, with the signature off the beginning and with the voiceover. Todd Pettengill, the host of the show. And of course, the big throw to the main card by handsome Doc Hendricks, FKA Michael Hayes, and we get right into the program. Todd Pettengill, as the host, welcomes us to the show, and we get right into the winner take all 6-man tag. MSK and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, the North American champion, going into this one. MSK, the tag team champs, taking on Legado del Fantasma. The winning side will walk out with all belts. So if Fantasma wins, Escobar walks out with the North American title, and Wild and Mendoza walk out with the NXT tag straps. And of course, if the other side wins, they retain. And this match went 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Fairly decent opener, fairly fast-paced opener. It kind of favored the faces a lot in this one. I didn't really think that Fantasma got out of the blocks. Maybe that's part of the story that they're trying to tell or whatever. But of course, the finish of this match, Escobar is fighting on the outside with Reed. He tries to go for the North American title to clock Reed with it for the knockout pinfall. But Reed splashes him through the barricades, and that allows MSK to hit a cutter and Reed to hit a tsunami off the top rope to retain the belts in 1340. Again, a very solid opener. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. A lot of chaos, a lot of action. Would have loved to see Fantasma get a little bit more offense in this thing, though. But for a 15-minute affair, less than 15-minute affair, a good little lift off to the show. Kyle O'Reilly is showing arriving to the arena, but Johnny Gargano and the Way are waiting for him out in the parking lot. There's a confrontation. Backstage, Todd Pettengill froze to the videotape for the background of Martinez and Xia Lee, but Mackenzie Mitchell is there to stop him and say, hey, everything's digital now, we just go to the truck. It was a pretty funny bit. I enjoyed it. Next contest, Xia Lee taking on Mercedes Martinez. Lee, of course, with Boa and Mei Ying. Mei Ying sitting at the top of the stage in her throne, a la, King Curtis Ikea in those Dungeon and Doom promos from back in the day in WCW 95. This all kind of reminded me of the Dungeon of Doom a little bit as well. I had a real Sullivan, my son vibe to it, so it was kind of a out there type presentation. Runtime was 7 minutes and 40 seconds for the contest. Xia Lee gets revenge for that loss years ago in the first round of the Mae Young Classic on Mercedes Martinez post-match. I think the big reveal is that Mei Ying is a physical force. She rose out of the throne and basically nailed Martinez with a Tongan death grip on the ramp and shoved her off the stage. So it was a just again over the top theatrics here. This is something that they're planning on going with in NXT as to establish a new faction. I have to wait for it to see out. It was very Dungeon of Doomy, like I said. I kind of get that vibe for it right now. Maybe a little Mortal Kombat as well, but we'll see on Tuesday where this all leads. We didn't see a Ciampa Thatcher promo backstage. They are pissed because they're missing TakeOver, but they have a Tornado Tag Team match with the Grizzled Young Vets coming up this Tuesday on NXT. and they are blaming the Grizzled Young Vets for keeping them off this card tonight. And they said they will get their revenge on Tuesday. So the $1 Million Championship match was up next. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. They are bringing back the $1 Million title. And the winner of this would be the new $1 Million champion, the first one since Stone Cold Steve Austin back in 1996. The video package with Ted DiBiase kind of outlining the history of the title was phenomenal. This is NXT, you could call it NXT's money match. And DiBiase brings the title to the ring in a clear briefcase. So DiBiase brings the title to the ring. It's in a gold transparent briefcase, and it gets lifted to the top of the building, and the match starts. Beth almost gets smoked by a ladder on the outside. There's a ladder joust spot. Lots of prodding, slow action on the outside, but then it starts to heat up a little bit with a neck breaker for the ladder by Knight on Grimes. Knight says, "Let's take a trip to the moon," but Grimes reverses, and Knight goes to the ladder face first. Grimes grabs a golden ladder that's up at the top of the stage. So Grimes ends up grabbing a golden ladder, but Knight catches him and falls off, but pushes Grimes off of the ladder on his way down. Knight then throws Grimes into a ladder at ringside. Grimes climbs all the way up a trestle on the outside to drop an elbow onto Knight, which was pretty cool. Grimes looks to have his hands on the title, but Knight dumps him through ladders on the ramp that are set up, allowing Knight to grab the title. And post-match, Ted awards the belt to LA Knight, and we have a new $1 Million champion. It is LA Knight. Now, one of the things that I saw on social media last night was a lot of people making the call for this to be kind of a Money in the Bank type scenario, where the holder of the $1 Million championship could, quote-unquote, cash it in for a NXT title shot somewhere down the line. That would be really cool. I would love to see it. I'm not sure if their creative sees it in that way, other than a legend just coming back and giving some of the young guys a little bit of a rub on the roster. But I think that would be one of the logical things you could do with the $1 Million championship, is kind of turn it into NXT's version of the Money in the Bank contract. Todd Pettengill in the back trying to hawk some merch, but Hit Row crashes it, and it was a funny segment. Backstage, Pete Dunne and Cross get into an altercation, and we go right into the NXT Women's Championship. It is Raquel Gonzalez, the champion, versus the challenger, Ember Moon. By the way, the runtime for the last couple matches, Xia Lee defeating Mercedes Martinez was 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and the ladder match, LA Knight defeating Cameron Grimes, was 19:30. This one runs 12:40, and it is Raquel Gonzalez defeating Ember Moon by pinfall. And this one was a very serviceable, very good match, but again, it builds up to the end, and that single-handed powerbomb on Gonzalez gets her to 1-2-3. They ended up reintroducing Shotzi back into the fold, who is back, it seems, from injury. She chases Dakota Kai into the flower bed and then out of the building at points in this match. Some great still frames from that on social media. But again, nothing overtly flashy here, just another W for Gonzalez, and line up the next contender, whoever that may be. Todd Pettengill is backstage with Dexter Lumis. They play karate fighters. Todd asks Dexter about his love life. Shouldn't have done that, because he grabs the karate fighter and tries to crush it, but those things are hard plastic. They are hard to kill, trust me. And we get the teaser for the Great American Bash, which will be the next NXT special. It'll be on NXT TV on Tuesday, July 6th. And, of course, the teaser for the Grizzled Young Vets versus Thatcher Ciampa in a Tornado Tag Team title this Tuesday. And plus we find out who Kushida will challenge to defend, I should say, his Cruiserweight Championship on NXT in the coming weeks or whatever. I guess it's an open challenge, so I guess the match is going down on Tuesday as well. So Kushida defends the Cruiserweight title this Tuesday. Would have loved to have both these guys have their matches on this card, but I think they wanted to try to keep it about a 2 hour and 20-minute card, so that stuff had to get cut. Main event, the 5-way for the NXT Championship. Karrion Kross, the champion, versus Kyle O'Reilly, versus Johnny Gargano, versus Adam Cole, versus Pete Dunne. And, of course, the runtime for this thing was 26 minutes and 15 seconds. This was match of the night for me. Just a cluster of moves, a really good showcase on what all 5 of these guys could do in a ring in a very chaotic scenario. Fast forwarding all the way to the finish, because we'll be here all day trying to decipher what all the different exchanges were and that stuff. In the last real segment of this match, Cross lands a cross jacket on Gargano, but it's broken up by a last shot by Adam Cole, which allows Kyle O'Reilly to come into the ring and lock in a leg vice on Cole. Then Cross locks in a choke. Cole is out. O'Reilly is knocked out, and with no Pete Dunne in the picture, Cross finally gets the knockout victory after a wild main event. Post-match, Cross celebrates with Scarlett. And then we cut to the back, and this was the major plot point for me for the entire night. Mackenzie Mitchell catches up with William Regal, the NXT general manager. Says he's never seen this much bedlam. Says he thinks it's time for a change and walks off. So, do we have a new power figure coming to NXT? Is the new power figure Samoa Joe, perhaps? Is the new power figure a WWE legend that's coming back into the fold in NXT, much like Ted DiBiase has with the $1 Million Championship? We'll have to wait and see in the coming weeks. But in all, I thought this was a fairly solid show. Nothing really groundbreaking with the exception of that last angle on the show as it went off the air with Regal saying, hey, something needs to change here. There's too much bedlam. So whether he's bringing in an enforcer or he himself is stepping down as NXT GM, I don't know. But we'll give this a 7 out of 10. And yeah, the main event is definitely worth a rewatch. Go check it out. And if you're a fan of the women's division, the women's match was pretty good as well. The ladder match was goofy and fun, but it's kind of slow and prodding. I don't think there was really a bad match on here at all. You know, I would have booked the opener differently, but that's just me. Put your comments below. What did you think of the card? That's basically all I gotta say. Alright, folks, later days, happy wrestling watching. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'm going to try and keep cool around here. Maybe not try to sweat as much. And we'll see you next time here on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Take care. See ya. Oh, and the next time you'll see me, I'll have glasses back on too. I just took them off because they kept fogging up during the review, so...